Hello everyone and welcome back to the I Lost Track video of the fourth playlist. My name is Anton. It has not changed and will always be Anton. Raj's name, on the other hand, I don't know. That's his plan. Raj, say hi.
Yeah, also not gonna change,
Oh,
hopefully.
hopefully it's crazy. And today we will actually start getting to the more interesting parts of layout sketching. By actually starting to layout sketch some FTC components. So today we'll be doing the Drivebase. What you should have open. So this is a follow along video. So you should have if you remember in the last video, we created that little folder and ecosystem for just a very scuffed robot. So open that up and go into the robot name layout sketch plus master, then into the layout sketch part studio. That is where we'll be working most of the time. So yeah, just have that ready. So this is the kit Drivebase from GoBuilda. So if you guys remember from our sometime video long ago, we covered GoBuilda parts. So this is literally the same exact Drivebase you can buy from GoBuilda and assemble it. Comes with assembly instructions. Um, and you guys will be actually buying this, and you might use it in its original way. You might modify it. That is up to Raj and up to kickoff, I guess, how the game is. So but today we'll just be quickly layout sketching this dry base. So yeah, let's get on with it. So first things first, what I'll do on the Go Build a tab is I'll have the drawings open because this is where all the dimensions are. You can also do CAD, but if you guys hopefully you guys know already, you can easily just take distances by selecting one face, selecting another face, then looking at here and tells you parallel distance. Um, so as I was saying, you can do CAD, but the GoBuilder drawings give you most of the critical dimensions. Okay, so I am now my layout sketch, and what I'll do right now is I will split screen like that, and yeah, so I'll just be referencing the drawing and just kind of going back and forth. So first things first, I want to make sure that my plane cube is correctly positioned. If you guys remember, I think for the fourth time now, you usually start layout sketches from the side view. So basically in this view right here, right? The side view is not the front view. If you mess that up, you use your fingers like the left and right thing. You know when you anyway. Um, you want to start off with either the right side or the left side. Um, I'm gonna start off with the right side because I feel like it, and we'll actually no, I'll start with the left side. It just kind of depends on how you think. If you want to start from the right side, go for it. Left side, go for it. I'm fine with the left side. So first things first, very first sketch, if you guys remember, is the ground plus the game elements. Um, we can cover game elements in another video. So for now, let's stick with the ground, right? So the ground, I'll just make a construction line. Um, 11 inches is way too small of a ground. The drive base, it says here, is about 336 millimeters or 13 inches. I'm just gonna make my ground 16 inches long and name this ground plus field elements. Field elements. What I'll actually do is I'll come back in the next video and we'll do the field elements of some game, maybe last year's. We'll see. Okay, so that's the ground, right? Then pretend field elements here and there. And I think we're good for this sketch, right? Pretty simple for a sketch. And now onto the second sketch where we will be making the drive base. So from the side view, the first thing that's touching the grounds are of course the wheels. If that's not the first thing that's touching the ground, then you have a useless hunk of metal that you should probably sell for money and get something from like the scrapyard or something like that. But for in this case, fortunately, we do have wheels which are 104 millimeters in diameter. Wheels are circles, so I'm gonna use the circle tool. And instead of putting in 4.094, right? Because The millimeter dimension is way more accurate than the inch dimension here, right? There's less decimal spaces by far. What I'm gonna do is I'll just put 104 for millimeters, and you can just press enter right away. Cool. And then what I'll do is, I feel like I made the ground way too small again. I'll make it like 18. Cool. Now if we go back here, we can, what I'll do is I will put a construction line in the middle here, because imagine you split this drawing in half, like right there. If you mirror this side over this little like vertical line that I made here, you'll basically get the dry base, right? So that's exactly what I'm doing here. This will be like the little middle line that kind of splits the dry base in half. And then I'll just mirror it over and call it a day. So again, you really want to find the most optimal solutions to making things, especially in layout sketches. And again, this will help with the changeability of your layout sketch as well, because it's a mirror, right? So if I move this side left and right, the other side will also move left and right. So we'll actually do that right now. Okay, so 336 divided by 2 is, let's pretend I'm in preschool and I do not know how to do math. What I can do simply is say 336 millimeters divided by 2. Cool. And now I will just, mirror it over. So press the mirror function, press on U. And now if we check the distance in between, also, by the way, what I just did is I just pressed space to deselect everything. So you don't have to like manually deselect every single thing you selected. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press left bracket for the measuring tool, 13.228, and that tracks, right? Pretty cool. Now we have to do the box tube. For the U channel, I'm still in FTC or FRC terms. So in the side view, we see that the U channel looks like it ends right here, right on the curve of the wheel, but that is false information. It actually ends kind of close to the end of the wheel, but unfortunately they did not give us the dimensions. So what I'll do now is what I did is I went on Onshape. I copied down the SKU of the Drivebase from GoBuilda, pressed enter, and literally just pressed on the very first document that had the Drivebase in this little image, so right here. And now what you can easily do is you can just use this for any dimension that you don't have. So for this specific box tube here, if we go to the right view, it is, if it lets me select it, if it loads, that many long. I think millimeters should be more accurate. Yeah, 432 millimeters long. Cool. What I'll do now is I will create a box tube, I'm still in FRC, U channel, sorry. And what I'll do is I will set it up first. So I will actually just use the line tool and just make a very kind of unconstrained U channel, right? Going up to the middle construction line over here, the mirror line. Now, if we look here, this kind of U channel over here, the holes are centered on the wheels themselves, meaning that the whole box tube is centered on the wheel hubs, right? So it's kind of, here, I'll show you. So I first created a midpoint on this vertical line over here. Again, what you can easily do is you can just Shift S for point, hover over this line, and then keep going down until you see that midpoint icon right there. Now what I'll do is I'll select this midpoint and select the center point of the circle and make them horizontal. Which now, as you can see, centers the height of my U channel with the center of the wheel, which is exactly how it is over here. Now I actually have to grab the dimensions of the U channel. So going back to this document, I will press on this line, press the measuring tool, left bracket, 48 millimeters. This will be really funny if it's a square. Oh wait, no, it's not a square. Yeah, 48 millimeters. And what do we say for this one? So 432, right? Going back here. So I will make this 48 millimeters tall. And again, I'm in preschool, so I cannot do math. 432 millimeters divided by 2. Now what I'll do is I will just mirror this whole thing over to the other side. So select on the mirror line, press on this line, press on this line, press on that line. And that is almost it. The one thing that I want to add now is how the these kind of diagonal, like, or the U channels that go across the Drivebase, how they will look like. So this center one right here is centered, right, on the whole U channel that goes kind of connects the two wheels together. So what I'll do is I'll press the center point rectangle. I will, oh, this is a pain. I will actually make my mirror line coincident with this point right here, because now what I can do is I can hover over, oh, pain. I will delete all, I'll also delete this, never mind, I'm not gonna do that. What I'll do instead is I'll just make another construction line. I'll make another construction line over here that runs between the height of the U channel. I will hover over it to find the midpoint, and then I will keep going horizontally to see that orange dotted line until I hit the center mirror line of my layout sketch. Press on that, and then since the U channels are the same height, of course they're gonna be like, the heights are gonna be coincident with each other. Hover over this line till it's orange, meaning it's gonna be coincident if I press it. Left click, and there you go. I got my U channel. Now I'm just gonna drag this out of the way so it doesn't mess me up. And now I'm actually gonna check in the document how wide these are. Pretty sure it's 48. Yes, so 48 millimeters. Boom, boom. 48 millimeters. Cool. Now I'm gonna do the same for this back one. I highly recommend for you to try this one on your own. But if you feel like you're not ready yet, I'm gonna do it right now. So first things first, I'm gonna just make a center point rectangle. Again, kind of same thing that I did with this midpoint over here, but now since this is technically the midpoint between the height of the U channel, I can easily just use this to my advantage. So hover over it, drag it out to see that dotted orange line, then make it the same height as this U channel that goes across over here. Now I will go back to my Onshape document and check how far away it is from this edge over here. So I selected this face, I selected that face. Now if I press left bracket, you want to check parallel distance. And thing is, if you hover over this, like put your eyes over here, or like look over here for a bit right now. If you hover over this number, you'll see like a dotted white line, which shows you how it's measuring the dimension. So parallel distance, meaning that it's giving me the distance between this face and this face, which is exactly what I want. So it's 24 millimeters. Now going back to my layout sketch. 24 millimeters. And these are the same depths, I'm assuming. So 48 millimeters. And there you go. That is your layout sketch of the side profile of your Drivebase. Another thing you can do to make stuff easier to center and everything is actually to just make this little hole pattern right here. It could make like things easier. Instead of using dimensions, you can just make the center points of the rectangles coincident with the center point of the circle. So I'll quickly do that right now. So for example, the centers, the circles are centered on the height of the rectangle. So I move my mouse over the midpoint of the height, make it horizontal, just make a original circle, Now I'm actually going to go back over here and measure the distance between this circle and this edge right here. So minimum distance is what I want, so 17 millimeters. Now I go, I think it's from this to this is 17 millimeters, so 17 millimeters. Now let's check how big the holes are. 14 millimeters, and now let's check how far apart they are. So center distance is 24 millimeters. Okay, so going back here, diameter is 14 millimeters. And now what I can do is I can just initiate a linear pattern, click on this circle. I'm gonna click on that arrow to flip the direction, and then make the center distance be 24 millimeters. And now I'm just gonna kind of eyeball how many should go. So of course this is definitely not enough circles, right? So maybe try 20. 20 is way too much because it goes past. So 18, nope. 17, yes, okay. So now if you notice, see how instead of needing this dimension for this rectangle, what I can do is I can just make the midpoint of my midpoint rectangle coincident with the midpoint of this circle right here, right? Because it's the second circle from the right. So pretty easy. This could definitely be an alternative. And if you want, you can export it. If you want, you can use dimensions. It's totally up to you. Okay, so that is the side layout sketch of the Drivebase. Right now, it doesn't look like much at all, but now we will actually make the top layout sketch. I will make this layout sketch centered on this box tube. So what I'll do is I'll go back to my Drivebase. I keep using FRC terms, man. U channel. I'm gonna make a line going from one end to the other through their midpoints in the Drivebase document on the U channel going or connecting to wheels. And now I will use the plane tool to click the line that I just made. And if I see how I made it 0 degrees and that already made it 90, kind of, it made it 90 degrees to the line, right? It's kind of flat now, parallel to the top. That's exactly what we want because we want a top view. So, and I will just name this top DB, right, for Drivebase, and check mark. Cool. Now I will make a sketch on the top DB plane that I just made and call this top DB as well. Raj, any questions so far?
I guess this is kind of a question, like leading into what you're doing, but you have currently the side of the drive base centered at the origin.
Yep.
How do you plan to does it not really matter if, like, when working on it from a top view, if it's like weighted on one side or the
What do you mean weighted?
like because one side is at the origin, right? The
Yep.
other side will have to be, I guess, on either the right or the left.
Oh, you're
Does
saying,
that not matter?
oh, I
That matter?
see.
Yeah.
I was actually just getting there. You actually want to make the
Mm.
top view centered as well. So this layout sketch over here from the side, if you look from the top view here, it should be running smack dab the middle right here. So instead of making a side like instead of having this side layout sketch here and then making the dry base to the right, or having the side layout sketch here making the dry base to the left, right? What you want to do is you want to have this side layout in the middle of the robot from the top view.
So how would you, I guess, can you do that with what CAD you have right now, or would you have to change like how you started?
I can do that with the CAD I have right now.
Okay.
And that's actually what we're gonna do right now. So,
Sure.
The very first thing from the top view that I definitely want to do is I want to make the U channels, right? Well, I guess that's all we're probably gonna do. Maybe even model motors, but we'll see about that. So first things first is I have to project a couple of points. I will project this point right here because this point marks kind of the origin of this middle U channel that runs across, and this point back here marks the middle of this U channel that's running across the back. Again, this is kind of 3D sketching, so you're going to have to use an isometric view. Now, if I go to the top here, I will do a midpoint rectangle and just kind of stretch it out like that. Same for the back. And now I will not dimension them, because all I can do is I can just press this line, press this point, make them coincident, right? Because I've already have the dimension modeled out in my side layout sketch, so might as well just make it all connected with the top layout sketch as well. So same with this middle U channel, just like that. And now I will have to refer to the drawings over here for the width of my, what's it called? For the width of my U channels, right? So these will be the same lengths. So I will actually go ahead, click these two sides, press E for equal. And if you look in this this dimension right here, this tells us that the distance in between these two U channels is 264 millimeters, meaning that these two U channels are 264 millimeters wide. Cool. Now we can start creating the side U channels. So what I'm gonna do right now is I will project the very back point of the side U channel and the very front point. I will show you why now, because I will have to use a corner rectangle for this. And what I'll do is I'm gonna hover over this point and hover over this point. And when hovering over this point, if I go out to the left, you should see another orange line up here vertically with this point right here, right? I'm gonna click that spot, go all the way to the top, and now I have to do the same with this front point. So hover over it, go out all the way to the left, and click, right? So now I made the length of this side U channel basically equal to the length of the U channel in the side layout sketch, which is exactly what you want to do. Okay, and I'm pretty sure this is still 48 millimeters. So what I could do instead is I can just make the widths equal, right, since they're the same. And now a very easy way to make the other side of the robot is quite literally select on any line from the side layout sketch, right, from the top, since that is the center of the robot, and just click these 4 points over here. Okay. Now we actually have to try, well, first off, let's check our dimensions, make sure they're okay. So it's saying from this edge to this edge, just so you guys orient yourselves, there you go, right? So from this edge to this edge, so from this edge to this edge, should be 360 millimeters. I need millimeters, please. Or 14.173. We are at 14.173. Great. And everything else should be good. Now we can actually start to make the wheels. So instead of making all 4 wheels, I'm gonna make one and then just mirror it over. So Raj, are you kind of seeing what I meant?
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Okay. Everything makes sense now, or is there still like some uncertainty?
You're gonna get into the part of like mirroring the wheels, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like that's what you're doing now. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So the wheels are 104 millimeters in diameter. So hopefully you know your geometry. I definitely do not. I have to constantly keep asking Raj what type of prism I'm looking at. But I do know that the diameter means the length of the box or the rectangle from the top, right? Because from the top, this circle does look like a rectangle, and the diameter is 104 millimeters. So it's going to be 104 millimeters wide, or long. So we'll do that. And now I actually have to, sadly they don't give me the dimensions in between here, right? So, well, I'll show you what I can do with this space in between. What I'll do right now is I'm actually just going to see this little shaft that connects these two, kind of the wheel to the frame. What you can do instead for that shaft is just a very simple like line, right? Again, this is a layout sketch, shouldn't be too specific, right? You can like I don't want you guys to go like scour all of Go Build It to find that specific shaft and just find a specific diameter. Um, so that's all you need. And now what you can do is, you know where this wheel will be, um, this way, how I'm dragging it, because of the side layout sketch. So what I'll do right now is I'm gonna project actually the center point of this circle, and I will just make uh, that point vertical with, is it vertical? No, it's not. So vertical doesn't work because we're technically steering it like this. So I'm trying to ask it to make this point vertical at that point, but that is geometrically impossible. So it's technically a horizontal. I press vertical again, horizontal, horizontal, horizontal. Cool. And now what we have to do is we have to find the width of the wheels, which I will do for you guys. Oh, this is a pain. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just go and Go Builder, and I'll quickly find the widths, and I'll get back to you. 30 is 38 millimeters. So going back here, I will now make the width of my wheel 38 millimeters. Cool. Now, a very good trick to find out why it's still blue or unconstrained is just finding a blue point, clicking and holding on it, and then just dragging it around. So I cannot drag it left and right. The only thing that's unconstrained is its up and down movement, which is what we're gonna solve right after we mirror it over. So to mirror everything over, we have to first, let's first mirror everything over to this side, and then we'll mirror it over to this side. So to mirror it over to this side, we have to find the midpoint of this whole assembly, right? Which should be pretty simple. It's right here. So I'm gonna make a construction line going out and up. Click on it for my mirror line, and then I'm gonna drag from right to left to select everything and mirror it over. For those of you guys who don't know, there is a difference between dragging a right to left and left to right. So right to left selects everything that the yellow box is touching. Left to right selects everything that the box is fully encapsulating. So for example, for this line, right to left, it selected it because it's like touching it. But the blue from left to right, it does not select it because I'm not fully encapsulating it. I actually have to do that. Okay.
I did not know that. That's actually so interesting.
um a little drop of like, a little spiciness. Now we're gonna mirror everything over, right? So I'm going to drag right to left, Raj. Okay, right to left and right to left. The reason being is because if I did, well, you can actually also do this if you really wanted to, but I don't know. You gotta kind of get used to it. Now if I move everything, you'll see that it's everything is moving with everything, if that makes sense. The only thing I have to do now is put in this dimension, 451.7 millimeters. I'm actually going to do 17.785 for this one because it's a nicer number. So I'm going to select this line, and this is where the cool part happens, I think. Famous last words. Oh yeah, cool part. There you go. Notice how everything turned from unconstrained to constrained. That is because since it was mirrored, there was an automatic equal constraint applied between this line and this line right here, and this line and this line, so between all the hubs. And since they are equal, what you literally just have to do is put in this dimension and call it a day. I would go further into explaining it, but that's just some geometry, and this is not a geometry class. I don't know if that is, sadly, this is not a geometry class, or fortunately, this is not a geometry class, but this is not a geometry class. If you have any geometric questions, go to Raj. He knows a lot more geometry than me. So yeah, that's the top Drivebase layout. Now you should notice that we kind of have a nice little, layout sketch of the Drivebase. The other thing that I would highly recommend doing now is actually to just basically copy down this sketch right here to the sides. of the drive base. There's a pretty well. Let me think about this. Mm, yeah, so we'll actually do that. So what I'll do is I will go into the top dry base sketch and make a line cutting across the middle of the width of both of these U channels on the sides. So just like that. And now I will create two planes, both 90 degrees parallel to the top DB plane on those lines. So plane 1 I will call, what is that? That's the left side, so left DB. And this one I will say right DB. Now, is this necessary? Not really, but what it does is it just makes it easier to look at your layout sketch. Um, and it's, it'll make life a bit easier when you're starting to put together the drive base and everything. Okay, so moving on, now what I'll do is I'll just go into this one, right DB, and I'll name it right DB. And all you need to do now is just, project everything over. So do this circle. I wonder if I can just do that and view. Boom. That easy. And then go here. Do is this right? I'm losing track. Wait, no, that was left. That was left DB. And then now I'm doing the right DB. Okay, and now I'm gonna select on the dry base. Actually, no, I'm gonna make, oh, nope, I'm messing up right now. Double click on right DB, select on this sketch, press U for project, and done. Now, if you had the original dry base layout sketch, you'll see that you have a nice little thing here going. So yeah, the reason why we did this drive base sketch was to first kind of center everything. So then later on, when we do the top view, everything looks kind of nice and organized. So yeah, now you can hide it, and now you have your nice little kind of drive base sketch. If you really want to, what you could have done is you could have made another plane running across the center of the widths of the wheels from the top view, right? So 90 degrees to the top view. And then you could have projected the circles onto onto a sketch that's on that plane. But I mean, it's not too necessary. But it's just another option if you guys want to explore it. Okay, Roger, any questions?
From the top view, right?
Uh-huh.
You wanna go? Though the side view, the side part of the drive base.
Yep.
How come they're like centered inside the U channels?
Oh.
Like, is there a reason for that, or just arbitrary?
I mean, just like a general rule for layout sketching is to have everything centered on things. Like, you could do it on the sides, but like it just looks, I don't know, like it just feels a bit nicer to me that it's centered, because then you technically do get a bit more presentation for both the left and the right parts of the U channel. But you can definitely do it on the left side. You can definitely do it on the right side. And then another thing is that like these lines already kind of do serve as, we're gonna put this in an assembly, right? So these lines already do serve as assembly points for the for the drive base. So I mean, it's just like a thing. It's a very, very common practice, I would say. I'm not too sure why. I don't have like a concrete idea, but yeah, I guess it just looks nicer and is a bit more organized. Now I will make a version 2, and I will call this Drivebase. We'll call it Drivebase. And well, actually, I shouldn't have done that, because what I also want to show you guys is, you guys are very prone to actually changing the length and width of your drive base. So what you could do is you can create a variable studio call it db dimensions. The lowercase b is making me mad. db dimensions. And then what I will make is I will make two variables, one for length and one for width. And currently, if I go into the Drivebase, my current width is 432 millimeters, or length, sorry, my current length is 432 millimeters. So I will go here and say 432 millimeters. All right, anyway, a bit of technical difficulties, but once you create the variable studio, you create db width, db length. So for db length, I put in 432 millimeters, go back to layout sketch. And for this value over here, I can just put db length divided by 2. And now, and I'm also going to rename this to db vars. Cool. And if I go into the top Drivebase, the width is 264 millimeters. So now I'm going to put in 264 millimeters for here. And put in db width for this one. Now, what this enables you to do is really easily change the width and length of your Drivebase. Like all you need to do is go into this variable studio, double click on the value, type in your new dimension, and call it a day. So yeah, now I will actually create a version. So Drivebase attempt 2. Cool. Now if I go back to my Drivebase document and I delete whatever this is, delete whatever that is, delete you, and if I update my derived right here, you'll see that it's red because we deleted that sketch. And now I'm just gonna put in Drivebase, left db, right db, and top db, and check mark. And now I will do the same thing here. So other documents, not the turntable, not the robot cart, recently opened. I will do.
Wait, sorry, a quick question.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot, but when you were adding the variables for the this like current view that you're looking at right now, side view of the Drivebase, did you dimension the middle one, and because it was mirrored, it like carried over to the side?
Yes. Because it was projected over to the sides, those dimensions will also change.
Got it. Okay.
So that's why you want to make everything changeable when you're doing layout sketching. Yes, I need you. I need you. Okay, so now, oh, this is beautiful. All right, great. Anyway, so now that's working. As you see, you can move everything right now. So first thing you have to do is select all the sketches, group them into one, so call them layouts, and check mark, and then right click on one of them and say fix. And you have to do all this without accidentally moving one of them, because then that's going to mess up the rest of your cat. So now I want to import this Drivebase. What you can really easily do is if you already have the document open, is you can actually copy the link of the document, go back to your assembly, press insert, go into public, put the link into public, and it will show you that like exact document. And then if you go into assemblies, go into assembly 1. Hopefully it loads. There you go. Cool. And press check mark. Now what you can do with these ones is you can honestly just go to front view and just hide them. You can also find a cleaner Drivebase. That's actually what I would do. So instead of having just random parts floating over, I would actually go and try to find another document with just a clean Drivebase. But for the sake of the video, now what you're gonna do is you just have to mate the Drivebase to the layout sketch. So this is actually going to have to make like that. It is not grouped, so I'm gonna group it right now. Do this group db. Don't worry about this error. This means that the person who made the Drivebase just made an error, but as long as it's your Drivebase, we're fine with it. Now what I actually want to do is before mating it, I actually want to rotate it 180 degrees. Because before you mate things, I highly recommend to position them the correct way, like the exact way you want to mate them. So beforehand, it was not rotated correctly, right? It was rotated 180 degrees, opposite of how I want to mate it, but now it's good to go. And now what I can do is I can just mate this, right? I will just mate the, let's see, what's the best way to mate this? I have a couple ideas. So what you could do is you can mate the center. So if you go onto the back of this U channel, onto this flat face, and select this top middle mate as your first mate, then go over here and select this point right here. Hopefully it lets me. Please. That's the wrong way. See, it's the wrong way, but actually what I'll do is I'll just you can offset it. So if you rotate about X by I think 90, negative 90, it is, yeah. So now, if you look at it, notice how all of our layout sketches line up exactly with the Drivebase, right? Same with the top view as well, which is pretty cool, right? Like all the way up to the wheels. So yeah, that is that for the Drivebase. Now what you can do is you can create a version here, go back to the layout sketch document, go to your master assembly tab, and then import the Drivebase and everything. Without the sketches, you don't want the sketches in your master assembly. Raj, any questions?
No, it's looking cool.
Yep. All right. That is it for this video. Next video, we still haven't figured that out. We'll figure that out, and then we'll have another video for you guys to watch. So yeah, see you guys.
Yeah, see you guys.